Welcome to this episode of YouTube where the snow has come and gone. The October 14th was an early record of snow for us. We had over an inch. The pond was still going at that time, so it made for some interesting coloration. The leaves were still on the trees, so we had a lot of tree branches that were kind of hanging over from the excess weight. The wolves really enjoyed it. Actually, the pups were curious about it because they had some snow enrichment in July, so this isn't their first time really eating snow. It's their first time seeing it covered across the landscape. But we have since then drained the pond. The pond is something that has electrical components, and while it makes for very beautiful reflections, when it freezes solid, it can be problematic. So because we have a UV filter system, we have a pump system, a lot of piping that circulates the water to reduce the algae, it's necessary to drain that all out for the winter. So the pump house that Grayson is standing on here is where everything is housed. That again, water has been drawn down. In the upcoming weeks you'll see the wolves getting quite dirty from investigating the bottom of the pond, whether it be leaves or whether it be old skeletons or things that they find. Certainly we have our fair share of frogs. We have a lot of opportunity for the wolves to dig and to investigate. So that's something that's probably going to be viewed on the Explore.org camera in the upcoming weeks. So we don't worry too much about the wolves' hypothermia issues. They have a very thick undercoat on that undercoat, and those guard hairs keep them warm. So they have no problem coming in and out of the water and retaining body heat. We have had a couple of nights where it's been in the teens. So one thing that you'll notice is that we started to bring in more cover hay, and that cover hay is on the pump housing. It's in the front of the exhibit. We try to place it in an area where the sun will radiate and give them kind of a cool space. So here's Blackstone digging up some of the things that are coming out of the pond as we started to drain it. Relationships are going well with the pups. Pups again are about 77 to 79 pounds. It goes back and forth depending on whether they have a large meal. But Blackstone calves are getting a little bit harder to tell apart. But as you turn the back of the precaudal tail gland, so that's the black spot on their tail, you'll notice Kaz on the right has a circular spot, whereas Blackstone has a very linear precaudal tail gland. Blackstone being more cream colored, Kaz being having a darker saddle, and size-wise, they're about the same. Kaz looks a little bulkier. Blackstone looks a little bit thinner and a little bit long and leaner. So this is Blackstone. This is a photo I'm sharing of a wolf in the wild. People have commented that their coloration, appears a little quite different from Rika's. That is true, but that is not an uncommon coloration around northern Minnesota. So Rika and Kaz have been spending a lot of time hanging out together, and this is the top of the pump house where there's hay on top of the area to keep them kind of a little drier spot in order to rest. Grayson's been doing quite well overseeing this pack. We don't quite have a leadership of a dominant pair figured out yet. Rika is certainly favoring the pups, spending a lot of time with the pups. She's a young pup herself, so she's not really reaching maturity yet herself. So I think in the upcoming winter, we're going to see her maybe pair up with somebody and take some leadership role with a dominant pair. But at this point, Kaz and Blackstone are very tractable towards all the wolves, even Axel, who had a little bit of a struggle when they first came in. But Grayson seems to be the one that really does a lot of grooming. I've seen this over and over again with Kaz approaching Grayson and getting groomed by him, and Kaz has a very, very submissive posture, head very low, tail very low, very respectful when he approaches Grayson. So I think that's going really well, and we'll keep you posted every week as how the dynamics change with the more snow that arrives. Thanks for watching.